This is my irritated librarian looking at you over my glasses, thinking, assuming, that you are up to some sort of shenanigan. Nay, a mess around. Who am I kidding? You're my muse. You don't undertake shenanigans, mess arounds, or otherwise the causing of trouble. You're my muse. You are always there for me. And I, in turn, am always here for you. So yeah, of course, as per usual, I have something to talk about. And what I have to talk about was born of a very brief moment of not imposter syndrome, but maybe doubt, self-doubt, maybe, I don't know. I was having a conversation with my wife. The wife. And I was kind of, bemoaning the fact that we are currently in an extended period where books just aren't selling. People just aren't reading the way they used to. And yeah, I know it's something that every writer on the planet right now is in a constant state of bemoan. But I generally just try to ignore it. It is what it is. I can't control it. I am not a marketing genius. And the way I have decided to deal with this is to just continue writing, focus all of my energy on my craft. And of course, lately I've been focusing most of that energy on POTUS, which I've started collecting a list of agents to which I will then submit POTUS to once it is edited. And I feel like it is in a state that is viewable by an agent. Until then, honestly, right now, for the first time in a while, I'm not writing anything. What I'm doing right now is I'm proofreading Suicide Machine. I'm getting ready to proofread, or not proofread, but give another pass through POTUS. And I'm going back through Endgame to give it its second edition polish. It should have happened a long time ago, but it just didn't. So because I don't have anything new to focus on, to force all of that energy into, my mind, she does a whir about and think about things it shouldn't. And the other day, it happened upon the idea of book sales and how bad they are. And as I said, I had a discussion with my wife. I don't know why I'm reacting like that. And somehow it got around to the discussion of maybe it was time that I just try to write something mainstream. And of course, my wife, knowing me as she does, asked, "Do you really want to write something mainstream?" To wit, I answered, "Hell no. I try to read mainstream work and it bores me. And I don't want to write something that bores me." And the catch-22, as it were, is that I don't want to write anything that bores me. I would like to write something that could be considered a hit, or at least a commercial success in some way. But I know me, and you know me, Muse. And the truth of the matter is, what is more important to me is to honor my craft and my soul and my heart and you and the stories that I want to tell, more so than mainstream popularity. And so I have to stop myself from struggling with this. I have to just say, okay, I have made this decision. I have decided to toe this particular road. And it has very little to do with mainstream popularity, with mainstream titles and ideas and genres. And I have never been one to follow the trends. In fact, way back in high school, way back, oh, so way back in high school, I was voted most likely to start a trend. Because that's what I did in high school. I started trends. The things I were doing were the things that people were doing later. And so I have kind of dragged that idea all the way back, all the way from high school, from those days gone by to now, and decided that I'm going to start the new trends. And I know it sounds so arrogant when it comes out of my mouth. But there has to be that person. There has to be that person that bucks the mainstream and says, you know what? There are other trends to be had. Other than the literary memoirs. Because that's what's popular. That's what people want to read. Which blows my mind. And I guess I know that my mind can be a little narrow at times, but it blows my mind that in the world in which we live, that people want to read nonfiction. Escape, everybody, escape. Escape from this reality for a brief period. I get so immersed in the reality of today's political and social environment that if I didn't have that fictional escape at the end of the day, I think I would lose my mind. Now, fortunately, I get to create those fictional realities of my own choosing. And I have said for so long that it is the job of the artist to heal the soul. And there are a lot of souls out there that need to be healed. And I can't do that by hopping on the mainstream bandwagon and writing the things that other people write. I have to write the things that I write. Be they commercial successes or not. I have to honor who I am and my muse. And I have to do so in the absolute best possible way I can. Otherwise, I'm failing me. I'm failing my art. I'm failing my craft. I'm failing all the writers that came before me that fought such that I could do what I do. But every so often, and I have to believe this, every so often there needs to be a revolution. And the last great revolution I can think of in literature was back when William S. Burroughs and all the beat poets came into existence. And they fought against the mainstream. And yeah, I guess that some could consider digital publishing to be a revolution, but that's to me, that's only a revolution in publishing. That's not a revolution in the art. And we need a revolution in the art. And I am calling that now. I am saying that I don't even know if this exists. It may already exist, but I want to start a new genre called neo-literary. And it's a genre that melds the popular with the literary, and it makes it accessible to everyone. It's like an intelligent mainstream fiction. We have to have revolutionaries. I'm not patting myself on the back and saying that I am a revolutionary. I'm saying that we need revolutionaries, and I will do everything I can to start a revolution if I have to. Because as writers, as artists, we can't become lazy. We can't just hop onto the coattails of the fad before us and ride it out. Because if we do that, we're not changing anything. It's just the same old shit. And art cannot live by that. Art has to evolve. Art has to change lives and heal souls and become bigger than it was in previous generations and years. So I know this sounds crazy. I know that this may be the ramblings of a mad bastard. I'm not a bastard, but some people might call me one, but I'm not. I know my father and my mother. At least I think I do. No, I did. May they rest in peace. But if I have to be the one to start a revolution, then so be it. But somebody has to. And the revolutions don't begin because of a need for commercial success. That is, revolutions are antithetical to that. This is an instance where I feel like especially within the realm of literature, we are on a precipice of becoming stagnant for so many reasons, because people aren't reading as much as they used to, and so many writers and artists are trying to recreate the success of somebody before them because they're not having any success on their own. And that is not doing us any favors whatsoever. What we need is something different. And I think that maybe POTUS could be the start of that. I don't know. And I even hate to talk about this because I'm afraid of coming off as something that I'm not. This is all coming from a very genuine place for me. And art is such a precious thing in this world. And we can't allow it to become stagnant. Because if it becomes stagnant, it could die. I mean, art itself is never going to die, but the artistic soul could wither away. And we don't want that. Am I making any sense, Muse? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you've probably been around for centuries, and you've probably heard this spiel countless times from countless people. And I hope that I'm not destined for a literary or an artistic straitjacket. Anyway, Muse, I'm sorry that I got off on that tangent, but I needed to get it out of me. And who better to share it with than my muse? Anyway, I've got a proof. I've got so much work to do right now, so I'm going to go do some work. In the meantime, Muse, my dear Muse, thank you for being a part of my life. There are moments in my existence that you are my savior. And I hope that I communicate enough how much I appreciate you. Because, Muse, you are incredible.